Hi, I'm Michelle Gothier and I'm a professional life coach. If you're tuning in with me today, it's because you want to learn more about how to have work-life balance. If you have, up to this point, been waiting for your boss or your company to provide you with that, or even your kids to ask for less, you've probably been waiting a long time. Stay tuned for this video and I will teach you how to change your work-life balance without any of those circumstances changing. For the best advice about how to have a calm, simple, balanced life, subscribe to my channel below and hit the bell to be notified when I publish a new video every week. In the past, I had some pretty major struggles with work-life balance. First, I had a job where I traveled 4 or 5 days a week, almost every week. That made it nearly impossible to be able to juggle anything at home. Then I had a job where I worked from home, which was great. It was much easier for the home stuff, but I would kind of obsessively just pop in my office to answer an email, and then an hour later in the evening, I'd still be working on something from work. Now I have owned my own business for a couple years, and that also has the opportunity for me to just work 24/7. So I have to constantly and consistently work on maintaining the balance that I want to have in my life. I've taken my own experience, the tools I've used as a life coach to come up with this approach for making your life feel so much more balanced. This is something I teach to all of my clients, and now it's your turn. Okay, let's get down to business. So the first thing that you need to do in order to start solving this problem is to know that this is on you to fix. What I mean by that is no one else is going to give you work-life balance. There's nothing anyone else can do to give it to you. Yes, there are people in your life who could probably make it easier or harder to have it, but take the responsibility that this is for you to fix and to make work in your own life. Step one is to define exactly what the problem is. Let's take a look at the way that you're spending your time today. As you're looking at this, consider where you feel like you're spending the right amount of time. The right amount of time differs by every person, and where you wish that you were spending more or less time in certain areas. Let's take a look at these common areas. If we were to break our day up into chunks, here are some of the ones where you would be spending time. So you've got your family time. You've got your home time. To me, that's managing your household. You've got your work time where you're working, either going to work or working at home. You've got your sleep time, and then your self time. So this is where you're doing something for yourself, like if you enjoy reading a book, or if you're meeting a friend for happy hour, or something that you're doing just because it makes you feel good and it's the way that you want to spend your own time. And then I put an other category in here in case there's something else in your life that takes up a big chunk of your time that I haven't mentioned. Take a look at each one of those and think about, if you had to label them red, yellow, or green, what you would give them right now in terms of, I feel satisfied with the way that I'm spending my time with my family. If I feel great about that, I'm going to give it a green. Yellow is like, yeah, most of the time, but sometimes it's not great. And red is, I'm totally dissatisfied with that area. So just go through and make a note to yourself of if you're red, yellow, or green for family, home, work, sleep, self, and other. And as you're working through those, start thinking about what exactly and where exactly is my problem. Is it I don't see my kids enough, and when I am home, I'm just constantly checking my work email? Is it I stay up super late every night to catch up on things like laundry and dishes, and I never get a good night's sleep? Is it I'm trying to start my own business, but I'm spending so much time with my family and taking care of my house that I'm not actually making time to work? What exactly is your number one issue? And your red ratings will give you a clue as to where to start. Once you're really clear on what the problem is, then we want to investigate it. Let's investigate that problem further and see how we can solve it. As you could see from my example, the areas that I marked red were home and self. So yep, I'm doing a pretty good job at managing work and spending time with my kids, but what often suffers is my actual home and the things I need to do to manage that home. The second thing to go is time spent by myself doing things that I enjoy. So I want to know, comment below and tell me, what are your red areas? What are the areas where you are really having the most trouble? And if if all 6 of those are red, try to rank them and say, this is the one that's the hardest for me and the one that I would most like to change. Tell me what your number one red area is down below. Okay, so now we've taken the time to know exactly what our problem is, and we want to investigate our problem a little bit. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, why is this a problem in my life? So if your area that's red and the number one problem with your work-life balance is your actual time spent at work, tell me why that's a problem for you. Is it a problem for you because you don't get to see your family enough? Or is it a problem for you because you work so much that you're just constantly burned out and you don't have any creative ideas anymore? You get up in the morning and you're starting to dread work because you're just doing it so much, it's taking all the fun out of it. If your problem isn't working enough, the example I gave where maybe you're trying to start a business, but you're also taking care of your home and your kids, what effect is that having? So you're not getting your business kickstarted on the time frame that you wanted, or if you have a job that someone else is paying you to do and you're not working as much as you should, your manager's getting irritated with you and you're afraid you're going to lose your job. What is it? Tell me exactly why this problem area is causing a problem in your life. Now we're going to take the time to think about what we can do. How can we solve this problem? And what we're trying to do is not think in terms of absolutes. So for example, if the problem is I'm working too much, one obvious dramatic solution would be I'm just going to quit my job. I'm not going to work anymore, right? And another obvious solution would be I'm just going to work a ton. I know I don't love it, but I'm just going to work a ton so that I can get it all done. So sometimes those feel like the only two options. What we really want to do is we want to find out what are all the little steps in between there that we could do just to make it feel this much better. We don't have to solve the whole problem today. What we're looking for are small solutions that we can do. So if we think in terms of spending too much time at work, you could see if you can work part-time. You could decide that you're going to work late, but only 2 nights a week. You could decide that you're going to work really hard during the day, but you're not going to take work home. A lot of people are already working at home, so that means you've got to close your office door, turn off your computer, do something to say my work day is completely over. Decide that you're not going to respond to emails at night. If you have to check them for peace of mind, just decide that you're not going to respond to them and start teaching other people that the hours you're available are business hours. Even better, just don't check your email at night. Then you could take a look at your schedule and say, okay, I've normally been working until 7 o'clock. I'm going to try working until 6:45. And then I'm going to try working until 6:30. So just take a few minutes, a couple minutes each day off your work schedule. Those are just some examples. I'm sure if we brainstorm together, we could come up with a ton more, but just start thinking of small things that you could do to make a change. Now pick one of those responses and choose to implement that one. So for example, don't respond to your emails at night. Now, when I throw that one out there, especially if you're a person who checks a lot of emails at night, a lot of the feedback I get from my clients are things like, well, I work for an international company and I get emails at all hours of the day and night, or I always respond to emails at night, so that's what people are expecting. Or the expectation at my company is that we'll answer emails until 10 o'clock at night. So all of those things, complying with all of those things will keep you stuck exactly where you are today, which is always an option. You can always just keep doing what you're doing, but I don't think you'd be watching this video if you were totally satisfied with what's going on now. So you're going to have to make a change. Sometimes change feels uncomfortable, but choose one and try it. So for example, I'm going to say, I'm not going to respond to emails after 5 o'clock. I'm going to start today and I'm going to go for a week and I'm going to see what happens. So what I want you to do for your problem is do what I showed you on that slide, which is to start with the one thing that is just the most dramatic, quit your job in the example that I gave, to least dramatic, leaving 10 minutes early, and just fill in a whole bunch of potential answers along the way. Then I want you to choose one of those solutions and try it. Try it for at least a week and just see how it goes. Once you've implemented that, if you can just keep that going, you've got the ability to go back. You can either choose another one, you can choose a different red area, list out all the potential solutions for that area and implement one of those. But taking these tiny steps in the right direction are what is going to make this change possible. You can't change it all in one day. Tiny steps will make it possible, and it will make it feel doable because you're not overhauling everything at once. Once you choose your solution, I'd love to know what it is. Comment below and share it with me. I always love seeing the creative things that people come up with in the way that when we get in the mode of trying to solve our problems, what we can come up with. So share that with me down below. I'd love to see it. Coaching overwhelmed, busy moms is what I do day in and day out. I would love to talk with you if you're interested in working with me one-on-one. Click on the link below to set up a time. It's a free 1-hour session for us to talk about working together. If you liked this video, I would love for you to click the like button and share it with your other overwhelmed, busy mom friends. Let's not leave anybody behind feeling miserable when they can start feeling better with these tiny steps day by day. I have a couple other videos that could be useful to you as well. Check out the one on mom guilt to learn how to reduce mom guilt in your life. You do not need to carry around that burden, and I can teach you how not to do that. I also have a great video on morning routines and how to take 10 minutes in the morning and set yourself up for a calm and successful day. Have a great day.